So it seems like Jasmine Crockett has just become like the whole face of the Democrat Party. It seems like she's literally everywhere. So she gave her 2 cents on a potential DOGE dividend, and here's how it went. And pay attention to what she says at the beginning versus the end.
Now, President Trump says he likes the idea of giving some of the savings from DOGE back to Americans as kind of a dividend. Would you support that?
Listen, he's just telling a lie. He's not the one that had anything to do with the $1,200 refunds that people had during the midst of COVID that was done by Democratic House and Democratic Senate. Right now, what they're going to do is say, hey, we want to give you a refund, but Congress won't let us because they already know that there's just no money for that. The only reason that those refunds came before was because we were living in different times. This was a time in which hopefully we won't ever go through again. We had a once-in-a-lifetime pandemic. The bad part is that I don't know if it's once in a lifetime because we know that Ebola, unfortunately, was detected right here in New York here recently. And if we continue down this road of getting rid of scientists or deciding that we don't want to rely on experts as it relates to what they're telling us to do, or we don't want to deal with vaccines and medicine in this country, then we may be facing not only our next pandemic, but our next 2, 3, or 4 pandemics because of their incompetence. So no, we are not in the business of giving out money. And honestly, I don't know what $5,000 will do.
So at the beginning, she was saying those $1,200 checks that were given out for the pandemic were because of the Democrat Congress. Basically praying he didn't want to do that. It was the Democrats helping people out. And at the very end said, what is $5,000 going to do for you? So they should be praised for the $1,200, but $5,000 is nothing. Mind you, she's in a district where 20% of her people are in poverty. And there's a difference between the pandemic checks and the potential of the DOGE checks. The pandemic checks were just printed out like crazy. Billions and billions of dollars just printed out. Money that wasn't already allocated. The DOGE checks, or the potential of them, be money that the government's already allocating that they're deciding not to spend it on. And she knows that too. She just wants to downplay it because it's a Trump idea. If this was Biden saying, we're going to cut all this spending and give it back to the American people, she'd be praising it.